We all know when you compare a book to a movie, just about everybody who's read the book before seeing the movie will agree that the book was better. Does the same hold true for audiobooks? Let's dive into that, shall we? Hey everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood voiceover, Grant. Today we're going to be talking about the main differences between books and their audio counterpart. One of the key differences between books and audiobooks based on the same property are the visuals. Graphic novels, children's stories, and any other book that heavily relies on pictures or graphics have something that's very difficult to translate to audio unless a narrator is given some way of accurately describing the visuals without seeming forced or disingenuous. If you really like books with lots of pictures, you'll be better off reading those in most situations than you will be listening to the audiobook. Another consideration would be footnotes, references, and hyperlinks. Anything that doesn't lend itself to verbal interpretation that sounds engaging to the listener won't be very well received. If you're reading the book and you come across those items, you can skip over them. Now, if the narrator was told to include them in the audiobook, you can tune it out or skip over it as well, but ultimately it counts towards the total runtime and ultimately part of the product that you purchased. If they happen to be something that you intend to refer to, which would you rather have to deal with? Writing down the text of a link, or needing to play somebody reading it at half or possibly even quarter speed just to make sure that you don't miss anything. Now, any authors or rights holders who happen to provide their audiobooks with an online supplement and a single link mentioned at the earlier part of the book, they're honestly a godsend. This removes the awkwardness of both the narrator reading something that breaks up the flow of the story and also saves you the trouble of having to write down multiple links over the course of the book. The last aspect I'll leave you with to think about is the voice acting. An engaging narrator for either nonfiction or a fictional story is worth their weight in gold when it comes to audience retention and ultimately their opinions about the story. If a narrator can do a convincing job at making the events the book covers interesting enough to keep the listener on the edge of their seats, you better believe that they'll be glad that they chose to give the audiobook a chance. I hope this has been helpful for you in choosing between a book and an audiobook. If there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, feel free to drop it in the comments and I might do it in a future video. That's all for now. See you later.